Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. So today I have a video for y'all that is all about my Air Force story. So I get a lot of questions from you guys about like why I joined and what the National Guard is and just all that kind of stuff. So I thought I would make this video hopefully to answer some questions that you guys may have. So first I'm going to start by talking about the National Guard. So I know a lot of people don't know what the National Guard is, and I know mainly I knew what it was just because I know so many people like in my area that are in the Guard just because I live literally right by an Air Force base, and my base is pretty cool. It has active duty, reserve, and National Guard, so there's just a ton of military people in the area that I live in. But being in the military isn't something that I've always wanted to do. I probably didn't decide that I wanted to be in the military probably about the day I went and talked to a recruiter, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But the Guard is part-time. So I know most people, when they think of the Air Force, they think of active duty. So active duty, I'm sure you guys know more about that than you guys know about the Guard. So active duty, you enlist, you go to BMT, you go to tech school, and then you get stationed somewhere. So I know like one of my friends, she got stationed at her home base, so she got super lucky. Most people do not get that lucky and get stationed at their home base. It's just you kind of go wherever the Air Force needs you. So with the National Guard, you get to stay at the base that you're close to. And that's what's so cool about the Guard, because I know me personally, like I know that I don't want to live where I live for the rest of my life. There's a ton of different places that I want to live, but I'm not ready right now to just like be sent somewhere else, So props to people who can do that, because I'm just not at the point in my life where I'm just like ready to live somewhere completely different from my family. But I know that a lot of people do active duty because they want to get away from where they're at, and different stuff like that. But if you're someone who is wanting to go to college and isn't wanting to do the Air Force full time or anything like that, like the National Guard is the way to go. So basically all I will work is the first weekend of every month and then 2 weeks out of the year, which is usually going to be during the summertime. So that's all that I have to do. I still go to basic, I still go to tech school, and then when I get home I'll be on active duty orders. Then after that I just go to part-time. I get to go to college. I can still work at the pizza place I work at, and so it's kind of it's a really nice balance for people who are still wanting to go to college and still want to have their other job, but like the ability of being in the military, and you still get all those military benefits. So it's seriously a really great opportunity for those of you who don't want to commit full-time but still want the option of being in the military. And what's really cool is you always have the option to go full-time. So at my Guard base, it's not like, we're there on the weekend and then we're closed down the rest of the year or like the rest of the month. Like there's people who are out there full time. So once, you do finish college or anything like that, like you have the opportunity to work at your base full time and be active duty. So hopefully that kind of sums up some of your guys' questions about the Guard. It's really confusing for those who don't know much about it. So if you guys have any other questions about that, please feel free to ask. So the community college that I was going to my senior year in high school, the office for where you enroll is right next to a reserves recruiting office. And so one day after I went and enrolled in my college classes, I was like, I think I'm gonna go talk to a recruiter. And that's pretty much how I ended up joining the Air Force. So yeah, I mean, it's not like, something that I'd been like planning out for a long time. It was just kind of, I'm gonna go talk to a recruiter and see what they have to say and just kind of see what it's about. Like, I knew some people who were in the reserves, knew some people who were in the Guard, so I went to this reserves recruiter and I talked to them, and I went through the whole process. And once I kind of talked to people about like how I was talking to a recruiter, they were like, oh, like, are you doing the Guard or reserve? And so then we started talking to people, and really I chose the Guard personally just because I know more people in the Guard. Like, it's really just whatever works best for you, but we just know, like, my uncle, he was in the Guard, and we just know a lot of people who are in the Guard, and so I was just like, okay, well, that, all these people that are my age are joining the Guard, so this is probably going to be the best option for me. But just because that's, like, the best option for me doesn't mean that's the best option for you. I mean, I also have a friend who's in the reserves, and she loves it, so it's really just whatever's best for you. And what I tell a lot of you guys, if you guys are asking me, should I do the Guard, should I do the reserve, should I do active? If you are wanting to be full-time and that's all you want to do and you want to get stationed somewhere else, then look at active duty. But if you're wanting something part-time where you can go to college and still live at home, look at the Guard or Reserve. So if you have a Guard and a Reserve base close to you, I would look at both, see which has the jobs that you want. The main difference between the Guard and Reserve is the Guard is state funded and the Reserves is federally funded. Depending on where you live, you'll get different benefits. So like the school benefits that I get are different than the school benefits that my friend Madison gets in Ohio. So it really just depends on where you live, depends on what job you want, and it's really just like what's best for you personally. So I went and talked to the Guard recruiter, and I was like, okay, yeah, like this is what I want to do. So I did all the medical stuff. They sent my stuff to MEPS. We got me a MEPS date. And so all this was happening. I was talking to the recruiter in July, and I went to MEPS in September. It was kind of like the end of July, middle of July, and then I ended up going to MEPS at the very beginning of September. So I went to MEPS, took the ASVAB, did all the medical testing and everything, came back and talked to them about, you know, job options. So the two jobs that I wanted were aerospace medical technician and geospatial intelligence, which is what I'm actually doing. Both of these jobs I qualified for, so I went and talked to the chief of the medical group at our wing, and I went and talked to him, and they didn't have any aerospace medical technician positions open, and you know, I wanted to do nursing, so I was like, this is going to be perfect, like this is going to be focused around what I want to do. And then I ended up going and talking to someone who was a geospatial analyst, and I was like, wow, yes, like that is what I really want to do. Like that sounds awesome, you know, I'll do nursing like on the civilian side, and then I'll have this super awesome job like in the military, and I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. So we got back, you know, I was like, yep, sign me up, I'm ready, and the next week I enlisted. So I ended up enlisting on October 5th, and so it's been over a year since I've been in. And so for active duty, your contract doesn't start until you get to BMT, and for me, my contract started the day I enlisted. So I signed a 6-year contract, and I've already been in for a year and 2 months. So that's pretty cool, and that's pretty nice that this whole time that, you know, I've been waiting to go to BMT and waiting to go to tech school, that's all like counting towards my time in service. So from the time I enlisted, from the time I went to BMT, it was about 10 months, which kind of sucked. It kind of sucked waiting. Most people don't wait that long. It was really hard. You know, it was just kind of the time that I enlisted. It was just really hard to get me to BMT. So I graduated high school in May, and then I left in August. So went to BMT, graduated, and now I'm back home. So I get a ton of questions about why I'm home, like if I'm on leave, what I'm doing, like, you know, if I'm done with tech school, if I'm going to college. All kind of questions from you guys, questions from other people about why I'm home, and most people are at tech school. So this doesn't happen very often, but if they can't line up your BMT dates with your tech school dates, you will have a break in training. So I know me and Madison, my friend that I met at BMT, we both were break in training. She's doing services, but there's a couple other friends that I have at my base, and they went straight to tech school. But most of us who are doing intel are break-in training, just because it's really hard to line up our dates with tech school. So that is why I'm home right now. It doesn't really happen a lot. It's not very common. They really try to line it up, which is why it took me so long to go to BMT, because they wanted to try to line that up. So I don't know exactly what day I get home from tech school. I know it'll be around August. It'll be perfect. I'll be home right in time to start school in the fall. So I'm going to start school, I'm going to go to college full-time, work at the base the first weekend of every month, and I'll still get to have my normal job. I'll get Air Force pay benefits, they'll help pay for my school. So there's a lot of great benefits that I get to use while going to school and living at home, and it's just a bunch of money that I get to save for when I do, you know, get my own place and stuff like that. And I have already met so many cool people through the Air Force. But yeah, hopefully that answered any questions that you guys may have. If you have any other questions, please feel free to comment down below. Message me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat. Those of you who have messaged me, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I don't want to give you just like short responses. I, you know, want to give you really detailed information. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and I'll see you in my next video.
Yeah, every day we live, yeah.